Hey everybody, I've got a really great friend on today, and she is part of Jenny's Gold Standard, actually, and it's Christi Chapman. Super excited. She has two brand new products, or actually more than two products, but two company names now. It's not just her old company name, but she also has now Chapman Health and Wellness and Balmb Body Care. It's BALMB Body Care. So I have so much to tell you about Christi. She is not in Oregon anymore, but the company is based on Oregon. She's living in Spanaway Lake, Washington, with her husband, newly married. Yay, right? And she has been nationally accredited respiratory practitioner since 1991. And that's why we're going to be talking about breathing and CBD. It's going to be really awesome. But she's also going to talk about their body care line and some MMA fighters that are using her products, which is very exciting. So anyway, I'm going to bring Christi on, and she can tell you a little bit more about herself, because I always love it when they can speak about themselves and why she even came up with these products. Hey, Christi. Hi.
Hi, Jenny. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So will you tell everybody just a little bit about why you actually came up with these products and how they're helping you and your family and your friends and my mom?
And your mom. I love your mom.
I know.
Well, as a respiratory practitioner since 1991 that you mentioned, I just really worked with Western medicine. And when health issues came to my own family, Western medicine wasn't our best choice.
Right.
I have a daughter who has been in recovery for a very, very long time. And in the beginning, when I came into the industry of cannabis and healing, her personal story, which I leave for her since that is her story, but she allows me to share that in the beginning, she was not comfortable using THC because she was afraid she would relapse. So, there are so many people that are looking for health and wellness, but either have fear of THC, don't understand it yet. My favorite word is yet. And so for her, it was just a good starting point. And I do like to use that as an example. She currently does use THC products now that she has the education that, in fact, topicals do not get you into the psychotropic space that THC inhaled or in an edible or other devices would do. So for her, it was an education process, and now she's using full plant, has relief from many modalities, and so that serves her well. There are also other people who really cannot have THC.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to bring that up.
Well, and I, for one, being a respiratory practitioner, there was no way that I could go into the hospital having pain. And I was taking, pain for my hips. I got in a car accident, and it got to the point where I, as a practitioner, knew that I had to remove myself from working. So fast forwarding through a lot of stuff, CBD in a single molecule can do so much healing. And I wanted to see if I could heal myself with IBS just using CBD, because I wanted to know if I could go back to work. I knew that, at that point, THC being in my system it took my career. And I would like to do a big shout out to a lot of nurses who are diligently working hard so that practitioners, nurses, healthcare providers will not lose their job because they have THC in their system.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So my point being back to the meter dose inhalers, people either one are not educated on the full plant, they cannot they cannot.
I'm like it's like Wheel of Fortune, hashtag Wheel of Fortune.
This
Sorry
is,
about that.
This has gotten me through some difficult times, and I didn't have to use THC. A
Right.
good example would be I could be out to dinner with investors, and my IBS is a pretty severe case, and I'm in the bathroom not feeling well. I come out and they want to reconvene to another time, and I
Right.
can pull out my CBD inhaler and say,
Right.
give me just a moment, and the color comes back to my face, and I can continue and eat dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So everything has its purpose. The inhalers, having CBD in them is wonderful for so many different so many different ailments. I personally used it for IBS. It is a bronchodilator. So really, we can think about an inhaler in any way that you need to receive, for any reason that you need to receive CBD, an inhaler will do that immediately. So
Right.
if somebody is really nauseous, having chemotherapy or other issues, the relief is pretty immediate. And when you're a patient, having immediate relief can come in handy.
You can.
So, yeah.
And I want to tell everyone about my mom really quick, because she actually broke her shoulder. And before she broke her shoulder, during COVID, last October, she was using Christi's products all the time. And she was not using as much NSAIDs. I'm just going to use that word because I don't want to use the brand name, but she can't take them anyway. And but she's taking things that weren't NSAIDs, but or kind of the same thing. And she went down to like hardly any of them. Like she was hardly taking anything because of Christi's products. And she's on Christi's webpage too, on her website, which is very exciting.
She is so adorable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of late nights, a lot of empty bank accounts, trying to share health and wellness with the world because we put everything we have into it. But I would like to share your mom's story. And I wish I had it right in front of me, but she shared with me that due to pain, she wasn't able to dance with her wheelchair with her friends anymore. And that when she got my product, that she could hold hands with her friends again and dance in their wheelchairs. Yeah. And she's how old?
She's 86 now. When you met her, she was 85. Yeah.
I just wonder if people our age, if we'll, be dancing without wheelchairs because we have our cannabinoid system so well in tune by then, but that is one of the reasons why I do what I do.
And Christi, can you really quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you really quick explain to people after the story's done what a cannabinoid system is? Because I don't think people really understand why it's already in your system. And if you're not getting more of that, getting up to a level, you aren't really healing yourself. So you're taking all these opiates and everything else. That's not really healing you. You're probably going to end up on more pharmaceuticals. I didn't say that. I didn't say the company name. Nothing like that. But
I'll say it.
For pain though, this can really be a life changer for you. Even and we want to bring up the military and the doctors and the nurses and the teachers, because your products, you do have products that are non-THC too. If they're afraid they're going to get tested. I know that's been a fear for people that have PTSD in general. And PTSD is way further reaching than the military. I hope people know that.
Absolutely. Well, I just know that there were a lot of people contacting me saying that they worked at the post office or that they were a doctor and they
Yeah.
wanted CBD relief, but they were afraid of the product being tainted with THC somehow.
Mhm.
And, you know, I really went to bat for a product that I guarantee has no THC in it and will give you the CBD relief that you're looking for. And my only hope is that you will join us in full plant and
Yeah.
full health when your
And,
job allows you to.
and they may not know the difference between um, full spectrum and broad spectrum. And your inhaler actually has broad spectrum, so there's no THC in this product. But it still has incredible healing effects. So I didn't say that. FDA. Hashtag FDA.
They're listening. Be careful.
I know, right?
Another thing that I would like to share is let's use the example of an athlete. Athletes get drug tested all the time, and it can actually cause them titles, awards, etc. So we currently are working with 2 MMA fighters, and of course they have to test negative for THC. So they are in fact utilizing the CBD inhaler for increasing oxygenation, improving homeostasis, balancing their body, and giving them a better workout. She's just such a sweet gal, Team Brittenheart. She has been using the inhaler, and she said, I don't get tired. I can actually train longer. Yeah. So yes, we are involved with 2 MMA fighters. We have a world heavyweight champion, Joey Beltran, who will be in the ring with Chapman CBD inhalers on June 26th at Hard Rock Hotel in Miami, Florida. And also, I don't know if I mentioned, but Joey Beltran is a Hall of Famer for MMA fighting. So we're very, very proud to be able to work with him. He's also using our Balmb body care for after his workouts.
Right. And I will show these. You can show them too. Sometimes I'm not so good with the camera.
You have I prefer the lavender. You have the lemongrass.
Yeah, I prefer the lavender too, but this is good too. And what do we have for your purse?
Oh yes, any gal that doesn't have this in her purse, call me.
My mom actually carries it in hers. If her knee's bothering her, she'll actually put it on her knee.
How sweet.
Yeah.
So I did want to mention Brittany on at Team Brittenheart on Instagram. She also is using the CBD inhaler and the Balmb body care, and happens to be Joey Beltran's sweetheart. They're the most adorable couple. Their why is one of the reasons why I decided to partner up with them in this adventure. And so, yeah, we're very excited to have both of them utilizing products, filling their cannabinoid system. And this is a time that I would like to share that filling your cannabinoid system is a daily thing that we need to do. I have so many friends and people that I come in contact with that will use a topical, let's say if their knee hurts one day. But in fact, if they're using the topicals on a daily basis, they are getting those cannabinoids into their body, into their ESC system, and then in fact not having problems with that knee because the plant is taking care of it. So yeah. I encourage everybody to use a topical once or twice a day. And the reason that I say this is because after using them for 2 years, I went to my doctor and I said, about that fibromyalgia that you diagnosed me with, I'm not feeling it. Why is that? Well, as I continued to learn, I found that it was because I was using it on a daily basis and I was not depleting my cannabinoid system, which takes care of the pain. So using it on a daily basis is it's a healthy thing to do.
And that's been helping my mom too, which is wonderful because it's hard. I mean, it's really hard when you get older and you're having issues with arthritis and everything. Now, we're not saying it's going to cure that. We're just saying.
No, we're not saying that.
We're just saying maybe
I'm just saying that I
maybe
do
it'll help
not
you
live with pain on a daily basis.
Yes, exactly. So, would you like to tell us about? Oh, my other favorite one is a larger roller ball. Do you have that one there too?
I do.
This is my favorite. Yeah, I went through that pretty fast.
This is the one that's in your. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah. That one's great too.
These are really great because getting a good relief on your neck, even when you're sitting at your desk all day long.
Right.
We all are. And, you know, being able to move your neck is important. And so.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is.
You know, I haven't reached for a Tylenol in, maybe twice in a few years. So literally topicals have taken the place of any narcotic or Tylenol for me.
So now we have to do a hashtag Tylenol. If you name a company, then we're going to call them out and say hashtag Tylenol.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I know they're crying because I know that there's a lot of us using CBD instead of Tylenol. So
yes, that is true. That's absolutely true. So I want to go back to you working in the burn unit because we talked about this before we went live. So your products can help. And which products are they again that could help with the burns and everything? If you burn yourself with your curling iron or your hot iron or your oven, things like that.
Well, as we all know, CBD is an anti-inflammatory, and there are terpenes enhanced in my product. Anytime somebody has a burn, whether they're at the grill or in the kitchen, I would definitely recommend, applying CBD onto that. And I can't make any claims. You try it and write to me and tell me what happens.
Exactly. So people may not understand that CBD does help with inflammation because I didn't know that at first when I started using it years ago. But why don't you explain, if you can, how CBD does help with the endocannabinoid system? I don't even think most people know what that is.
CBD, when it goes into the body, it acts as an anti-inflammatory. Things that are inflammatories are sugars, processed foods. So CBD allows the body to regulate. It decreases inflammation and fills the endocannabinoid system so that the body can work in homeostasis. And for those who may not know what homeostasis is that when the body is in balance, it is able to function on a better note, if you will. And so bringing your body into homeostasis allows for it to function better. And another example that I would like to use about homeostasis, and this is a shout out for my friend Bruce and Diane. Love you guys. I took them down some CBD products. Bruce was having some really difficult times. And he is a diabetic. Well, I wasn't treating his diabetes. I was treating other ailments. And he ate some candy, and his wife called me and said, I checked his blood sugars and his blood sugars were okay. And in fact, the CBD that he was taking for other issues was bringing his blood sugars into balance. So that's what I mean by homeostasis, in that it brings body function into balance.
Right. Right. So, yeah, and I don't even think people know that when they're eating greens, aren't they getting CBD or endocannabinoids that way too, right?
I believe so.
But you'd have to eat a lot of greens.
A lot of greens.
A lot of
greens. I like the pure CBD that I can use and know that I'm going to get relief.
Exactly.
But I do believe in a good balanced diet as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So one of the things that I did want to talk about today is I know we've talked about CBD and using it as an inhaler, and we've talked about my good friend Joey Beltran and Team Britain Heart using the CBD for their upcoming title.
Right.
We've talked about wounds, not wounds, but burns. When we talk about burns, I'd like to talk about the lungs. And I know that this is an uncomfortable thing that we don't like to talk about.
Hey, Christi, really quickly, I'm going to cut you off for a second because I want to introduce you to Daniel. He actually was adopted, a foster child, I believe. Daniel, I got to get that by Friday in 2 weeks. So he wants to know how it relates to diabetes. And he was adopted as a young child, or went through foster care, went through a really bad foster care system, adoption, whatever it was, and has a lot of PTSD pretty much from that. He's adopted 5 children that are all have issues. And if you could also talk about children and diabetes for maybe someone in his family, and also for kids. Sorry to cut you off. Go back to
no, that's all right. That's all right.
The lungs. You're talking about the lungs.
Yes, we were talking about the lungs, and I can come back to that. I'm happy to answer his question. CBD again is it brings the body into homeostasis. So I like to say, if you are too warm and you take CBD, it's going to bring you back down to the level you should be. If you're too cold and you take CBD, it can bring your body temperature up. Mm-hmm. If your blood sugars are up and you take CBD, it has been noted to bring those blood sugars down. So I would encourage somebody to work with a cannabis nurse before trying any CBD to see what will happen. I also would like to take this opportunity to say that there are some drug interactions with CBD. Yeah. So it is important to have guidance. We have many nurses out there that are guiding patients to health and wellness, and I would encourage you to reach out to one of them prior to changing any medication, and of course, working with your doctor.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Christi. And it looks like Christi may have gone to Mars for a minute. She's on SpaceX, but she's going to come back. So I get hashtag SpaceX. No, and I think she's going to be back in a second. So Daniel is saying here that he is fascinating, Christine, and thank you so much regarding the diabetes, I'm assuming. But can you talk a little about CBD in children too, especially if they're having issues with anxiety and depression and things like that, and also adults if they're having the same?
Well, one thing that we have found is in working with adults and them getting relief and having things turned around, if you will, them finding health and wellness. Children, too, are using CBD. We know so many that have really paved the way to health with epilepsy and seizure disorders. There's also a very dear spot in my heart for autistic children. They are utilizing full plant medicine, and I'm blessed to know families that had children who were nonverbal, and they are now verbal and doing well, being productive, graduating high school.
Right.
These stories are so beautiful.
Yes.
And so yes, children have definitely benefited from this plant, and there are so many stories out there. So it warms my heart.
Right. And we're just talking about hemp products today. But when she's talking about full plant products, that's more on the MJ side.
Well, actually, no.
Or sometimes.
When I speak full plant, I speak hemp, full plant, full cannabinoids, full spectrum.
Okay. And do parents have to get a medical card to have their children on CBD products?
That's a difficult question to ask.
Right. Sorry.
State to state, I certainly don't want to give any out of compliance information. I would check with your local state. Your local Cannabis Nurses Association can give you more information on that, and what states have different laws. So I really try not to give wrong information. So check with your local state or reach out to me, and I'd be happy to help.
That's the correct answer. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you, Christi. I'm not a compliance officer, but I do know that.
I know a few, but they're not here.
We know a few too. I do too, and she does also. But that's very important that you guys check into that because we don't want to lead you down a path that may not be correct. But you speak with your physicians and ask them also. But we can get you in touch with cannabis nurses and doctors in each state, or at least a website where you guys can go to look at that.
And these cannabis nurses are also able to take Zoom patients and have really done their homework and can give good guidance with your physician. Yes.
Yep. That is absolutely true. So I know that a lot of the professional teams are now looking into CBD. Some of the teams have actually, Mark, you're a little late to the show, late to the game. But I know that some of these professional teams now, well, they have to be the whole, I don't know if it's the baseball, National Baseball League, football, I don't know, soccer teams. I know a lot of them are looking into this right now, which I think is very interesting too. So, hey, if Amazon's not going to test their people anymore, then there you go. There you go.
We're
Hashtag
growing.
Amazon.
We're growing.
Yes,
and, you know, Amazon, next, the Nurses Association.
Yes.
You know, nurses need to be able to take care of themselves so that they can take care of other people.
Yes.
I actually saw a nurse speaking about how if she went through a hospital and had every nurse who was on an anti-anxiety medicine or an antidepressant step off the ward, they wouldn't have very many workers left. That is a very hard, can be traumatizing job. I mean, I worked in the burn unit. I've worked in the open heart team, and you don't realize what you've seen until it's all over. Right, exactly. And that's PTSD right there. Exactly. And people don't think of that. And we discussed that earlier. So my other question for you, because I got you off of that and I really apologize. You're going to talk about the lungs and the inhaler and things like that. Yes. Now you're getting me on my soapbox. Sorry. That's okay. That's okay. When I was growing up, my father was a smoker, my stepfather, and he was in my life from the time I was 4 years old up until the time he passed away. And being that he was a smoker, I saw so much suffering. He was on oxygen. He was in the hospital. He finally passed away when I was 16. That was just so young.
Was it COPD or?
Yes, he had emphysema, COPD.
Okay. Yeah.
And, I saw that as a child and said, well, that's absolutely not what I want in my life. I'm going to take really good care of my lungs. And I want to let people know that are destroying their lungs that it's a very sad way to live and a sad way to go out of this world. So I became a respiratory therapist, and education for lungs was what I did.
Based. And that's what she's kind of talking about right now. Because I'd asked her before the show, I said, but is it oil-based? Like, how does it get into the lungs? And she said, no, it's isolate-based. So do you want to explain that to them, just in case they're nervous about that?
So, well, as a therapist, I don't believe in putting oils in the lung. It is an isolate. It is a powder. And we also use FDA-approved gas carriers. So I believe that we are offering a very safe product, one that can do a lot of good. And as science progresses and tells me that it's healthy to move forward into another realm, then I'll do that. But until then, I like to stay where I'm safe and I know that I can offer people the best product without putting anybody at risk.
Yes.
Our lungs are a screen door. Imagine just all those little tiny screen doors, and what we put inside them can either plug them or open them. And I like that CBD opens them. Right.
So you're frozen again, but we can still hear you. So you know. I'm like, but she's not a talking head. Hey, also, can you explain really quick to them, because you know way better regarding the vape pens, because people are still buying these vape pens because they're not, you can't get them shipped anymore, but they're still selling them on the shelves to get rid of them, and they haven't thrown them away in a lot of states, because they have carriers in them that you're not supposed to be smoking. They have found out in your lungs. So can you explain those really quick?
Well, I know that the vape industry has had their own set of issues. I'm very proud that they stopped using PG juice. In, say 4 or 5 years ago, it was detrimental to people. People were getting sick, and I was concerned about it at that time.
Right. I mean, people are still using them here like a year and a half ago. That's when they finally pulled them off the shelves here in Colorado.
Completely?
Pretty much, yeah. I think VG and PG. I don't know which one they have.
They've pulled all of that. Now, I just want to speak from my own experience and living in Washington and doing a lot of work in Oregon. The vape industry has really, from my opinion, done a good job in cleaning up their products. I personally vape. I do. It is very good pain relief for me when I'm in a really bad bind. Right. There is no solvents, so it can be done right. So I don't.
That's true.
I'm not here to say anything bad about the vape industry.
Exactly.
They've done a great job, and I know great companies that are out there doing very, very good stuff. So
it's true. There are more. Yeah, they're more than a handful, but you guys, you need to be looking at something called the COA, the Certificate of Analysis, and when you're purchasing these things, and you should be able to actually scan the QR code and see what's in the vape pen, what's in anything that's cannabis related. And when I say cannabis related, I'm talking both sides, hemp and or MJ products. because if you're buying a product that doesn't have a QR code on there and you can't scan it and you're purchasing it, do not buy it. If they do not have that, don't buy that.
Right. It's, it's part of the responsibility of being in this industry is making sure that you are making sure all of your COAs match the product before you put it into your product.
Right.
And that it is third-party tested, and relationships with your farms are the most important thing, because you know what you're getting. And so to be concerned about health and wellness, you certainly do want to bring the best forward. And sometimes that takes time and research. I didn't want to jump out of the gate thinking that I knew what I did not know. Right. So I really wanted to make sure that I understood a little bit about this plant and danced with her before I...
People probably don't know that these plants are women. You get rid of the males. You have to get rid of the males. But yeah, all the plants are females, so the guys really like to talk to them. That's why there's a lot of guy farmers, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, we call the plant she, because she is a she and she is a healer, and she can woo you, she can relax you, unwind you, assist you in your health, and also give you a desire for better health, more knowledge. Yeah. So she's a beauty.
Yes, she is. So, Christi, I'm really happy that you've been on today, and I am going to get a better chair to sit in, so I'm not like always getting up. But and I do not have your oil on my back right now. That could be the problem. So just be honest. So
here you go. There's some, right. Here's some for you. There's some.
Yeah, there you go, right there. So you guys, Christi's going to offer for the next 48 hours. So that would be till what? Midnight on Thursday? Midnight on Thursday.
Oh, let's go Friday at midnight.
Or Friday. How about Friday at midnight? 20% off anything on her website. But you'll need to go to, why don't you tell them? Well, we can tell them website, and then what email they need to send to you.
Yes.
A message.
So for the CBD inhalers, you can go to www.chapmanhealthandwellness.com. If you are interested in any of the topical line, please contact me at contact@chapmanhealthandwellness.com, as we are trying to keep up with inventory. And so we've not been able to put it on our website, but we do have inventory. So I look forward to hearing from you.
You're wonderful. And you said that the lotion, this is glass, by the way. So the lotion, though, comes in the lemongrass and also, is it the lavender?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought. Which both wonderful. So Thank you for that, Christi. And all the information is down below. So just check out everything down below. If you guys have any questions for Christi, like she said, just write her at chapmanhealthandwellness.com. Okay. Mm-hmm. Or you can contact me if you want to ask me any questions too, and I'll get them back to her. And Mark, I'm really sorry we didn't get to your I want to hear about the MMA and sports aspects, but we already talked about that.
I'll send you pictures, Mark.
He was a little bit late to the game because, we just were having a little bit of a tough time coming on time today. But it was really great. And I will tell you that my favorite guys, Daniel Dangerfield Hall, he's a little bit danger. He said, "Thank you, Christi, for that."
It's been
he said,
my
"Thank
pleasure."
you." He said it was it was fascinating to learn about the diabetes aspect of it, and probably some things to talk to his doctors about the kids. We'll see. Mm-hmm. So everybody, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm so glad that you got to meet my really, really good, great friend, Christi Chapman. And I hope you guys have a blessed day.
Thank you, Jenny. Have a blessed day.
Okay. Bye, guys and gals.